Hi guys! Welcome back to another episode of our life seasons where we talk about the different seasons of life and how we grow through it. So today's episode is very interesting, at least for me, because I'm turning 24 tomorrow as I'm recording this. I just feel like sharing the 24 lessons that I've learned turning 24. So this is what today's episode is all about. I feel like turning 24, there's a lot of things that has happened, and of course a lot of lessons that I've learned. I think especially in this year, I feel like I've grown so much and the lessons that I've learned are just insane. And I feel like somehow, maybe like right now, I kind of grasp, like, kind of the type of life that I want to live, and I'm living it. There's a lot of things that I thought that I would never achieve, and I've achieved it. Of course, I'll be discussing a lot more on, like, this major life changes in the next few episodes, I hope. But today's episode is just going to be focusing on a compilation of lessons that I've learned, 24 of them to be specific. And of course, I don't have super memory, so I can't really remember all of them. So I wrote them down on my iPad, and I'm gonna be looking down on my iPad like every now and then, just just so that we can actually go through these 24 and I don't miss out anything. Okay, so let's just begin with the first one. So the first lesson that I feel like I've actually learned is don't rush through life, flow through it. So this is the lesson that is actually very, very new to me, in a sense. Like, I kind of learned this, I would say, for the past few months, because I've always been someone that love rushing through life. Like, I don't know, I'm always in a rush for something, and I feel like a lot of times, like, people are like that as well. We're constantly rushing for our next goal, constantly rushing to our destination, or rather what we deemed as a destination that will bring us happiness. And like I mentioned in the past few episodes, I feel like there is no specific destination, or there is no end goal, right? It's more of like, when we reach certain goals, we would want more, and it's just normal humans to actually want more. So I feel like the most important part is to actually not rush through the process of life and just really flow through it and enjoy it. Don't try to set a timeline to your goals. Don't try to set like a specific, like, oh, by whichever age or by whichever year I want to be earning this amount, or I want to be able to have this and that. Like, I feel like this part really just, I don't know, it brings out so much like tiredness from it, because you will constantly be trying to look at your goal and be like, okay, how far am I away from reaching this goal? Like, how, what else do I need? You are constantly at this, at least for me, I felt like I was constantly at this point whereby I was stressing so much that I was so afraid that I might not be able to reach this particular goal, that what if this don't happen, or what if I deem myself, or I rather, like, I felt like if I didn't reach this goal, I was not capable. So that affected my confidence level. So I feel like when I really decided to just let it go and just flow through it, like, if I don't have a specific timeline for anything anymore, and I just kind of feel like life becomes so much lighter and so much happier. So I think that was one of the lessons that I've learned, is to not control the outcome, just enjoy the process. I know it's very simple or very easy to say, and it's so hard to do, because it took me really like few months for me to sit with this lesson and be like, okay, I really need to let go, I really need to just flow through life. And when I start to really let go, a lot of things happen for me in a way that I've never expected it to be. And the best part is I've actually enjoyed the whole process of it. So that's lesson one. Okay, moving on to lesson two. Gratitude is the secret to living a healthier life, both mentally and physically. So this is when, like, your mind starts to work for you instead of against you. Because like I mentioned a lot of times, like, our mind is really, really, really powerful. It can do a lot of things for us, right? But we need to know how to control it, or rather, we need to know how to use it. Because if we don't work together with our mind, or we just allow our mind to run freely and just allows it to bring us down, then I would say that you kind of lost like a best friend, because your mind can really be your best friend. It can really help you, or it can pull you down. So I would say that having this gratitude, or having this gratification in terms of, like, waking up every single day, being grateful for just the little things in life. Like, I know it may sound silly, but whenever I wake up in the morning, I do say this out loud, and I feel like this really helped me to live like a life. It helps to improve my quality of life. Whenever I wake up every single day, I will tell myself that I'm very grateful to be able to be awake, because I know at this moment in time, there are people in different parts of the world, they are like suffering, or there are some people who are not able to wake up to live another day, right? That is where their life cycle ends. And I feel like this puts a lot of things into perspective. If you think about it this way, be grateful for even waking up, be grateful for the shelter that you have, be grateful for the food that you have, be grateful for the air that you're able to breathe, be grateful for so many little things like the breakfast that you have, the water that you're drinking. You know, just look around your room. I'm sure that there will be something that you are grateful for, because really gratitude allows you to live a life that is so much more fulfilling. Because you, when you appreciate little things in life, you tend to, when bigger things come in your life, you tend to feel so much more grateful, and it's just like, you know, it's just part and parcel of your life, right? You don't have to wait for, you know, like major, I don't know, manifestations or major goals, or when you reach a certain age stage in your life, then you start being grateful. I feel like you can be grateful at any point of time in your life. So gratitude is really something that I encourage so many of my friends and even people that I speak to. I feel like gratification is really super important. So wake up every single day, be grateful for the little things in life, and then build a list of things that you can be grateful for, whether or not it's your partner, or whether or not it's, even if you're going through a hard time, that's when gratitude will save you. Honestly, gratitude will save so much of, you know, your healing process, and it allows you to be more happy in life. Okay, so that's number two. Number three is prioritize yourself first, even if that means you upset someone or you lose them. Okay, I know this is really scary, and this again took me so long to understand, because I think like everyone else, or rather like majority of the people, I tend to give first. Like I would want to be of value to people, right? So this kind of create this people pleasing tendency where I put everyone first and then my needs at the last, right? So I think over time, especially in work like 9 to 5 wise, when you're working for someone, you realize that your needs are always placed at the last, whether it's mentally or physically. When you do that, you start to realize that you come to a point whereby you felt like it was really unfair. That I, at least for me, I felt like it was really unfair. That why was I doing things? Why was I prioritizing someone else to a point whereby I don't have anything else to give? I was so burnt out. I was so tired. I was so drained mentally, and I start to realize that I have nothing else to give, because I was giving so much that I wasn't even like refilling myself, that at the end of the day I had nothing else to give. So it's like a cup of water, right? If you keep pouring the whatever that you have in your cup to someone else's, you need to find some sort of way to refill that water, because that water is not going to refill itself. So if you think about it in this way, know that prioritizing yourself allows you to give back to other people, give more to other people. So it's not selfish, okay, but rather it's more selfless if you actually prioritize yourself, take care of yourself, take care of your energy before giving back to people. So this is something that I've learned, and that means setting boundaries. I know setting boundaries may be really scary, but I do have an episode where I talk about, you know, setting boundaries with the people, even if the people that you love most. Even for me, I started to set boundaries with my mom, or with my close friends, just because I understand and I trust that the people who are meant to be in my life, or rather the people who are meant to be in my circle, they are energy givers, right? So those people, if they respect my boundaries, they are meant to be in my life. If they don't respect my boundaries, they were never meant to be in my life in the first place. Because you realize that when you start setting boundaries, there will be people that you will upset, because they have been benefiting from you not setting boundaries. So when you start to set boundaries, they realize that, you know, they're taking the shorter end of the stick, right? And they may feel like, oh, why have you changed? Why is it so unfair? Like, why are you not loving anymore? Don't get gaslight. Don't ever think that by putting yourself first you're being selfish. That's not true. Okay, so this is something that I want to say, that I've learned so much, that prioritizing yourself allows you to give back so much more. And when I start prioritizing myself, I realized that the quality of relationships and friendships that I have with my friends and family have improved, just because I am so happy and I'm so fulfilled to a point whereby people around me, they benefit from it. Just being around me, they feel fulfilled as well, and they feel happy as well. So it's a win-win situation. Okay, so that's lesson three. Lesson four is your desires come to you for a reason, because we've always pushed away our desires, our goals. You know, we always be like, oh, I dream of having this, or I dream of becoming whoever that you want to become. And whenever that sentence comes up, it always comes with a but I can't because, but I don't think I have that capability or I have that ability to become or to have. It's always a but. Like there's always a but at the end of a sentence. And I feel like when you realize that your desires come to you for a reason and you don't grab onto it, it will fly to someone else. Okay, just know that this is something that I've discovered. I always come up with, like, I always have ideas and I'm always very creative, right? And one particular incident I remember so clearly is that I started, many years back, as in not many years, like 2 3 years back, I have this idea of creating like candles. Because I've always tried to, start my own business and try to dabble into different types of businesses. So one of them was to actually create a candle that looks like a dessert. Just really aesthetic pleasing candles that you can light it up and it just looks really nice, right? And I tried doing it, but I gave up like halfway because it was just something that I can't get it right. Candle makings are hard, okay? You may think that it's easy, and I thought that it was easy, but no, it was so hard that I gave up halfway. And guess what? I didn't pursue it and I just left it as there. Few months down the road, I kid you not, I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw this account. I think there are so many accounts out there who are doing dessert like candles, and it's so amazing. And like that account was literally like blowing up, and I was like, oh my god, that was open inverted my idea, the idea that I have. So that's when I realized that this was just one of the incidents. There are many incidents that happen, and I feel like you can actually search it up. There are a lot of, even for Elizabeth Gilbert in her book, she actually talked about ideas being floated around if you are not if you don't grab hold of it. So desires come to you for a reason. If you don't jump onto it, it will move on. Okay, just like a relationship, it will move on and you have to move on. So whatever desires that you have, go for it. Okay, don't ever think that you're not capable enough or you're not meant to have the desires, because your desires are like a friends. They pick and choose who they want to go to you. So if they go to you, just know that they have full faith and capabilities that you're gonna fulfill it. Okay, so just grab onto them. Now, fifth lesson is everything happens for a reason. Okay, so even if it feels like a total chaos in your life, I know how hard that feels like to go through it. I know it's like the shittiest part of life. Life is not always filled with rainbows and butterflies. We all know that. So even if it's total chaos, just trust. I feel like one thing that I've learned so much is to trust that everything comes to an end. Is to trust that everything happens for a reason and it's meant to be. So a very good example was, I'm not sure if I've actually mentioned this example, but a very good example was I actually applied for one of my dream job that I really, really, really would love to be part of the company. And I got through all the way to the last round of interview and I failed. And I failed not because of, like technical stuff. I failed because of something that I can't change, which is my height. Okay. So if you guys know, I actually tried to apply to be SQ stewardess. It's so funny to say. Because I just love flying. And I thought that, like by flying and by having that as my job, I'm gonna really just be able to be happy and be fulfilled. That didn't happen because I was too short and I felt so upset. I was like, oh my god, why? I literally went to the last stage and everyone was like saying that, once you reach the last stage, you'll be fine. Like you're pretty much in. And I failed at the last stage because of my height and I could not apply again just because I wasn't gonna grow any taller. Like what, within the next few months. So sadly, I had to give up this open inverted dream of mine. And then I always questioned, like, why would this happen? Until like this was when I started learning this lesson that okay, everything happens for a reason. Just gonna trust the universe that if you're not gonna let me get into this dream job of mine, by all means, give me something more. I know you're gonna give me something better, and I just let it be. Few months down the road, this is really exciting. This is really good. Like the latest news. So literally few months down the road, last month I was in San Francisco, right? I kid you not, I applied like mindlessly to Google traineeship program and I got in. So this is a story for another day, but just know that the universe actually works things in a very different way as compared to what you imagine it to be. So now I'm in such a better position than ever. And I'm like, oh my god. So that was why I didn't, get into that particular company. I didn't get to be a stewardess just so that I could have an opportunity to be a traineeship in Google. So that's the story. So yeah, just know that everything. Oh my god, just know that everything happens for a reason. Okay, my mind got too excited. Anyways, the sixth lesson is you're not for everyone, so protect your energy. This is one of the conversations that I was having with my friend recently, and we are very different people in terms of personality wise. She's energy giver, whereas for me, I protect my energy a lot. So for her, I feel like, she was like telling me how she felt so drained every single time that, she hangs out with a group of people, and she just feel like people are taking her energy. And I told her this because just think of your energy as a valve, right? Your valve is so big, like in terms of like the opening, it's so big that you allow people to come in easily, and they take in your energy so much that at the end of the day you're left with nothing because you don't protect your energy. For me, I protect my energy so much so that I don't have a lot of friends, but the few friends that I have, they are really, really, really close to me. And those friends are the ones that I mentioned. I know that they're going to respect when I set certain boundaries, and they know to respect the certain decisions that I make. They never ever question me, and we have a great time together. So it's like a two-way street, right? So when you start to protect your energy, you allow people to know and to learn as well to protect their own energy, so they don't allow like just anyone and everyone to come into your life. Because in life there are two types of people: people who are energy givers and people who are energy suckers. So I'm not sure if you guys know about energy suckers, but energy suckers are people who, when you hang out with them, they will constantly be taking your energy out. Like if you think about it, they are like vampires. They're sucking out your energy, and you don't feel it. You will never feel it, even though you may have a great time with them. At the end of the day, you feel so drained. A good telltale sign is that after spending time with them, you come home and you just want to be alone. You don't want to do nothing. You just want to sit there and just, be in bed, scroll through TikTok or whatever it is. Like those people are energy suckers, okay? And you're intuitively, you would know. You don't feel too comfortable hanging out with them, even though you may have, like I mentioned, you may have jokes around or you may just laugh, but it's only temporary. When you're left alone, you just feel so drained out. And that is people who are energy suckers. And I would say that, energy suckers are never good in your life, okay? So protect your energy at all costs. Know that not everyone is for you. So one of the things that I've learned is to learn to observe first before jumping into every single conversation and whatever setting they're in. Because for me, what I like to do is that when I enter a new group of people or when I enter a new environment, what I like to do is I would sit down and I would start observing how people act. Because when you're in it, when you're like constantly chatting up with people, it's very hard for you to pull yourself out and look at situations, in a broader scale, right? And for me, I realized that people literally are so easy to read if you learn to be quiet and just observe how they act, the choice of words that they use, how they speak. And this of course takes time for you to get used to it and to learn. I'm not saying to just be this aloof person and just sit there and just have this like RBF and just look at people and not want to interact. What I mean is that learn to talk less and observe more. Okay, don't be the one that is yapping and yapping and yapping. Because that's one good thing about being an introvert is that they are really good observers. Because I'm an introvert and I know that people who are introverts as well, you realize that they observe first before jumping into a conversation, and when they click with someone, they become an extrovert. That person brings out the extroverted side of them, and normally these people are energy givers because they feel comfortable enough to open themselves up to this group of people. Okay, so just know that not everyone is for you. Protect your energy at all costs. Number 7 is to be successful, whatever success looks like for you, you have to have two things. One is a curious mind, two is a hunger for learning. So I would say that looking back at all the milestones that I've accomplished and looking back at a lot of people that I look up to, I realized that these two things are so, so, so important. A curious mind and a hunger for success is a trait that they all have. Because for you to be constantly improving yourself, you have to keep learning. You have to allow yourself to be curious to learn, right? So they go hand in hand together. So what I like to do is that I feel like by constantly trying to find ways to improve myself, constantly trying to see a different perspective of life and a different perspective of certain things, I feel like that's when I that is what leads me to where I am today, to have what I have today because of this mindset. Because when you're so close-minded, when you feel like your way or the highway, it's so hard for you to start learning, and it's so hard for you to be able to see things from a new lens, to see things from a new perspective, a perspective that no one else sees it in. So just know that if you want to be successful, whatever success looks like for you, just know that by having a curious mind and by having a hunger for improvement or for learning, you will go a very, very, very long way. Okay. So number 8, lesson 8 is your worth and value is determined by no one but you. So you determine your own value, because I feel like a lot of times we always we seek validation from someone else, we seek validation from our outside world, and we always deem ourselves lower than what we are actually worth. Okay, so I feel like this is so important, because how you treat yourself is how others would treat you. And this is something that I've also come to realize, of course, it's a lesson that I've learned, is that if when I started to treat myself with so much more respect by setting boundaries, or by knowing what exactly I want, what exactly I can accept, and the type of standards that I hold myself to, people around me start to treat me the same way. If as simple as, if you take on this main character vibe, this main character energy, people around you will treat you as the main character. You feel like it, so you act like it, and people around you are kind of, I wouldn't say forced, but you would see that they kind of change, like the way that they treat you, just because of how high of a standard you hold yourself to. Having high standards is, there's nothing wrong with it. I can't stress this enough, because I used to be shamed for having high standards. I used to be shamed for having like desires that are so out of this world. But now I learn to embrace it, and I start to realize that I actually start to attract more people that are like-minded, people who don't think that my desires are out of this world. They would tell me things like, oh my god, this is, of course you're gonna have this, of course you're meant to do this, of course you get XYZ because of your mindset, or because of who you are, of how much trust I have in myself. People start to trust me. I started having so much more confidence. I built my confidence from there. And whenever I hear like whenever I share like my accomplishments with people, they'll be like, yeah, I've never doubt that you'll be able to reach that. And I always get so amazed by how much faith and trust people have in me, and how much confidence they have in me, just based on like how much confidence I have in myself. So how you carry yourself is how other people will treat you. Okay, so always be really mindful about what are the things that you're telling yourself, because if you are shaming yourself, if you're shitting on yourself, on your own abilities and capabilities, then there's no reason for people to look at you the same way, or rather to look at you as someone that is filled with confidence, because you don't even believe in that. Okay, so that's lesson 8. Lesson 9, never compare your day 1 to someone else's day 100. Oh my god, I can't stress this enough. And I used to be a victim of this. I used to always look at someone else in the same industry doing the same thing and be like, oh my god, why can she accomplish this within 1 month? Why can't I do that? Like, it's a very good one is manifestations. I used to look at people and listen to podcasts whereby they talk about their manifestations and be like, oh my god, like I managed to manifest a certain amount by within a day or within a week. And I'm like, how the hell do you even do that? Like, how? Like, I don't get it, and that frustrates me a lot. And I used to keep comparing every single day I wake up. I started scrolling through Instagram and be like, oh my god, like this person at age of like 22, 23, they are accomplishing, certain things, like they are able to travel around, they are a digital nomad, they have clients, blah blah blah. And I'm here like I'm literally struggling to make a living. I'm literally struggling to create to build the foundation of my business. Like, what's wrong with me? I started blaming myself for it. So this is the lesson that I've learned. So I feel like it's so important. Like, please, if there's anything that you want to take away from this podcast, please know that never never ever ever compare your day 1 to someone else's day 100, because everyone is still a work in progress. We are all learning. There may be certain things that you're good at that the person might not be good at. It's just, in life, it's really just discovering what you're really good at and hone in onto that, what you're interested in and hone in onto that. Just have this like eagles mentality, whereby you're so focused on your own dreams, your own desires, and know and trust fully that you're able to accomplish it no matter what, as long as you don't compare. Because really, comparison is the death of like passion, it's the death of dreams. Because when you start comparing, all your passion and dreams feels like nothing, and you feels like it's so small that you can't accomplish it, right? So never ever compare. Okay, so Number 10, you won't be liked by everyone, and that is okay. So, this is people pleasers. For all my people pleasers out there, you would know this so well. I know that a lot of people are saying this, that you won't be liked by everyone, and it's okay. And I know how not okay it feels like, but just know that to put things into perspective, you don't like everyone. Okay, if you're telling me that you like everyone, you're lying to yourself, because like all humans, there will be someone that we don't like, right? There will be this particular person that you don't like. So if you don't like at least one person in your life, just know that not everyone's gonna like you. It's ridiculous to think that everyone's gonna like you, because you don't even like, you have people that you don't like. Okay, so this is what I mean by putting it to perspective. You don't like everyone, so don't expect everyone else. So don't expect everyone to like you. Okay, so you live such a happier life knowing that you don't have to people please anymore. That if you offend someone, or rather unknowingly, okay, if you unknowingly offend someone, or they take offense to things that you just felt like you were speaking up for yourself, by all means tell them, go ahead, that's their life. They don't like you, it's fine. You don't have to try to make them like you, or do things that is not you, just for the sake of them liking you back. Okay, this is the last thing that you should be doing, right? Lesson 11, you don't have to fit in. So this applies again to every aspect of your life, whether or not it's friendships, relationships, in work wise, whatever it is. Trying to fit in makes your life so much more miserable and tough. Okay, if you feel like you're always different from people, like I am, I always felt like I take a route that I would like to call it the scenic route. I always take a scenic route whereby not a lot of people take, or sometimes worse, the society don't deem that route as the open inverted right route that you should take. For example, going to get a degree, going to university after finishing your diploma or high school. I don't have a degree, and I still stand strongly by that, just because I feel like whatever that I'm doing, or the work that I'm doing, does not require me for that, and I really treasure experience more. That's just me. I'm not saying that everyone else should do the same, but this is just an example that I choose to take this route. And it took me very, very long, and I mean years and years and years, trying to trying to not open inverted, but trying to convince people that this route is the best route for me, trying to justify my decision, and I get so damn tired of explaining it. And of course, there will be times, or there are times, that I try to fit in, that I try to do things that is approved by the society, and deep down I know it's just not me. I don't last long. It drains me out real fast. Within 1 week, I was like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. Like, this is just not me. And just know, as when I start to embrace that certain routes for the majority of people might not be certain routes for me, because I am made different. Everyone is different, right? You are made different for a certain reason, and use this difference to help other people, to inspire people. Don't ever use this difference that you feel like you have to pull you down, because this, trust me, someone else in this world are gonna resonate with you, but they just don't find people talking about it enough, and they don't have that confidence. So what happens is really sad. They start to try to fit in, and everyone is trying to fit into the same box. Don't ever fit in. Okay, you create your own box, you create your own dimensions and size of your box. Don't fit into a standard size of box, okay? Because I feel like then you feel like a robot with everyone else. That's at least for me. Now, I don't fit in. I talk about things that I want to talk about. I do things that I want to do, and I feel like I live, again, such a happy life. Life just becomes so easy for me. Okay, so that's number 11. Lesson 12, trust your intuition at all times, and you'll never go wrong. So this is something that I really love, because honestly, if you think about it, what's the worst that can happen? Trusting your intuition, what's the worst that can happen? There's only lessons that you can learn. At least you know that you're not gonna, like, if let's just say, touch wood, like the next day you don't get to wake up, you will know that at least you don't lie in that box thinking that, oh, what if I did that, or what would have happened if if I've done that. Your what if, your if only. Don't ever live in this bubble, because when you can tell yourself that I have no regrets, I've tried every single thing, at least for me, I felt like I sleep better knowing that I've tried the things that I want to try, even if it failed. at least I've lesson that I've learned and I can take away with, and I'm just better every single day. So I try every single thing that sparks my interest, even though it may seem stupid or even though it may seem like it's insignificant. I would just do my best to try it and just try it out and see what hits. Okay, so know that your intuition will always help you. Trust your intuition. You will know deep down your desires come to you for a reason, like I mentioned. It's one of the lessons. And also that your intuition will tell you what your desires are. Okay, so lesson 13, people come and go in your life. I think some of these lessons are kind of like related in a sense, but it's just some of few lessons that I really really feel like it is worth mentioning. So people come and go in your life. Don't hurt yourself more by trying to hold on to the people that are meant to live at a certain stage in life, because like I mentioned, some people, they come into your life for a reason and for a short period of time. They come to your life for a reason and for a season. They're not meant to stay forever. They are coming into your life. They come into your life just to give you lessons and then they will leave. That is just how it is, and that's just how the universe works. Even though I know sometimes it hurts a lot to let go of people that is no longer serving you, or rather they may just you might just silently part ways with each other. That's fine. Just know that as you grow older, you know that people come and go. Not everyone is gonna stay in your life, and that's okay, because the only person that is gonna stay in your life is yourself. So try to work on, during this period of time, try to work on healing yourself, and use this period to know exactly what you want to do. Okay, so number 14, life lesson 14. What is meant for you will never pass you. Oh, this is my favorite. This again applies to everything else, okay? Relationship, friendships, career opportunities, etc. With this mentality, you learn to let go of control, because I feel like throughout this, when you listen to all 24 lessons of the life lessons that I've learned, turning 24, you know that one of the theme is to actually let go of control, is to just flow with life. Okay, so when you have this mentality of whatever that's meant for you will never pass you by, you live life in such a light-hearted way, because at least for me that's what I did. Like when I fully understand this concept, I'm like, oh my god, yes, what's meant for me will not pass me by. It's meant to come into my life, and I will meet, like whether or not it's a soulmate or whatever it is, like I will meet them when I'm ready. So right now what I need to do is to focus on getting ready and getting myself to that level where I'm able to accept things in my life, my manifestations, or my partner and stuff like that, right? To be aligned with who I want to be. So when you don't try to control things, you learn that you see life in a whole new lens. You start to see that, oh, okay, I could just try and know that I would never, like, there's no thoughts of, oh my god, but what if this is not for me, or what if I don't get it, or what if, like, failure happens. You're meant to go through certain things in life to learn lessons. So yeah, so just know that the more you live in this mentality of, it's just gonna happen, things are just gonna happen for me, I can live life the way I want to live, you would feel that you're so much more free. You find so much more inner peace within yourself because you just truly enjoy life. Okay, that's life lesson 14, my favorite. Number 15, when in pain, the answer is always to surrender. So, because I feel like we're all control freaks, right? Like we want to control things and we want to know that things are under our control so that nothing goes wrong. Just know that life doesn't happen this way. And I believe that you already know. We hold on to things or situations or people tighter than what we should. So just know that the need to make it work or have an answers to your why is the reason why you're hurting yourself so much. Okay, certain things happens for no reason, and you will only know the reason at the later part in your life. So just know that whenever you feel like you're in pain, or whenever you feel like the heartache or whatever it is, whatever failure that you've faced is so 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 bad that you can't pick yourself up, just know to surrender to this pace, to this pain. Don't try to control it. Don't try to heal as fast as you can. Don't try to reasonalize why you're experiencing this pain. Learn to let go, and the universe will do its thing for you. It will heal you in a way that you've never been healed before. Okay, trust me, I know this. So, lesson 16, which leads me to lesson 15, leads me to actually 16, which is you don't always have the answers, and it's okay to live it as it is and figure things out along the way. Okay, so this, like I mentioned, it allows the universe it allows the universe to show you the answers. It allows the universe to show you the way to heal when you really just let go and surrender. Okay? So lesson 17, you don't always get what you want, but you always get what you need. This is so funny because I used to be someone that is like, oh, I want this and it has to come this way. No other way. I'm not gonna accept any form of this manifesting in any other way. And I was so rigid in terms of my mindset. And oh boy, I tell you, I live a life that is so rigid, so restricted, and it makes things so much harder for me to enjoy. And when I realized that the universe will give me life lessons, will give me things that I need at that point in time, I'm like, I looking back at all the experiences that I have, I'm like, oh yeah, I really do need to learn that lesson from this particular situation. Even though I thought that, I've actually learned this lesson already, or I've actually mastered this concept of life, just know that the universe knows exactly what you need, okay? And it's okay if you don't receive what you want, because what you want will eventually come at the later part after you've learned the lessons that you need to learn, okay? So, lesson 18, it's okay to say no when you're tired or when you just don't feel like it. So, these are again for my people pleasers. You don't have to do it. Listen to your intuition. If your intuition is telling you that, let's just rest today, let's just, take a break today, please, please, please listen to your body, because this is your body telling you that, it's showing you signals of you prior to burning out, at least for me. So always listen to your intuition. It will tell you whenever it needs rest. Okay, don't try to put it aside and be like, oh no, I don't need rest, and just try to force yourself to do things just because you feel like you need to. Okay, because there are nothing in this world is the things that you need to do or you have to do. Okay, it's just the things that you want to do. So it's going back to the same thing of whatever that you're meant to have will never pass you by. Okay, so just know that you're not missing anything out just by resting. All right, don't have to feel bad. So lesson 19, I already said lesson 19 actually. There is nothing in this world that you need to do, have to do, should do, or like must do. Okay, it's only what you want to do. So you realize that, when you say things like I need to do this or I have to do that, what you're essentially saying is that people say I should be doing this. People say I need to be doing this. Okay, it's never a thing that you want to do. It's always, if you are saying such sentences of like, oh, I feel like I need to do this, I feel like I have to do this, it means you don't really want to do it, but people say you should do it. Okay, this is just how I see it as. So again, listen to your intuition, follow your heart, because what following your intuition may sound like is, I feel like doing this, I want to do this, I'm happy doing this. This is what your intuition sound like, this is what your true desires sound like. All right, okay, I know it's long, but we're at lesson 20. Build a strong relationship with yourself. This is so freaking important. And I'm still learning this. I'm still getting a grasp of this because it's still quite new. But get to know yourself. This benefits every area of your life. Like knowing your standards, knowing your expectations, knowing what you expect in a relationship, in a friendship, in your career. When you state down like your standards and know that having standards, like I mentioned, is not wrong. Okay, having high standards is not wrong. There are expectations and there are standards. They are two very different things. All right, standards are non-negotiables. When you have these non-negotiables, meeting new people, you would know like where they fit. Okay, I'm not saying that you have to kind of slot people into your expectations, and if they don't fit just one of expectations or standards, you're gonna kick them off. It's not like that. It's the same thing as back to trusting your intuition. Just know that you have a certain set of rules that you play by, certain set of boundaries that you have with people, and if they can't respect that, or if they can't fulfill simple things like self-respect, they are not your people. Okay, so by doing that, you build a strong relationship with yourself. Having this strong relationship with yourself, you know that you're fulfilled with yourself. You don't need anyone else to fill your own cup, to fill your cup. Okay, so next, 21, don't expect to heal anyone. This is so funny because I feel like every toxic relationship, or rather majority of the toxic relationship, comes from you, or rather me, trying to heal that particular person, thinking and hoping that I can heal them, that I can make them a better person, that we're gonna be better together. No, Because what I believe is that in a relationship, or for a relationship to thrive, you need to have two complete people coming together, two people who are complete themselves, who are fulfilled themselves, who know themselves, to come together to grow together. Okay, this is just my perspective. People, so some people may feel like, they don't need to be complete or whatever, but for me, I feel like this is how I've seen relationships flourish. When two complete people know exactly, and they know how to communicate with each other, that's when relationship do happen. And when I say that, when you're going through heartbreaks, just know that use this time to focus on yourself, right? Take this time to get in touch with yourself. Because what I realized, for me at least, when I go through breakups, it's always because I've lost touch with myself. And after every breakup, I would sit down and I'll be like, oh my god, I don't even know who I am anymore. Like, I don't even know what I want. I lose myself in the relationship. When you start to feel like you're losing yourself in a relationship, that is when usually breakups happen, because your partner will be able to feel it, and things will just go down from there, right? So use this time to actually heal. Don't rush through the healing though. Like, I think for me especially, that when I started healing, I realized that I've never actually rushed through the healing. I allow myself to take time to actually heal slowly, day by day, and I would take however long it takes for me to heal from there. And that means by building this relationship with myself, and to know that with this foundation, when I'm complete, when I'm happy with myself, anyone else is just a bonus in my life. Okay? So, lesson 22. Whatever you're searching for can be found within you. I have been searching for answers to my dream life, to my desires, to manifestations for the longest period of time outside of myself. I always thought that, oh, by hiring this particular mentor, by hiring this particular business coach, I can actually become um what I want to become my higher self. I can actually own, this particular thing, or I can actually have dreams that I've always thought that I was gonna have. No, because the common denominator in life is you yourself. It's really, I know it's really hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, right? To say that, like, everything that you do is, it all ultimately boils down to you. You can change your life, and you are the one that can change the trajectory of your life. You are responsible for your life, and it's very hard to swallow, because you I think as humans, we just kind of want to find someone to blame if things go wrong. So to say that, there's no one to blame but yourself, it's just, yeah, it's something that your ego will never ever let you do. Okay, so just know that whatever you're searching for can be found within yourself, and this comes with building a relationship with yourself. Okay, this comes with happiness from within, peace from within. So know that as long as you're living your calling, as long as you're tapping into your intuition and knowing, your desires and your purpose in life, you will definitely be able to find the answers eventually. You'll be able to find your right path eventually. Okay, so like I say again, deep deep within, when you improve the relationship with yourself, you would realize that you are actually more intuitive. You tap At least for me, I feel like I am so much more intuitive nowadays that it's crazy and it's insane how I have, like, voices in my head, my own voice telling me that, oh, I don't think you should be doing this, I don't think you enjoy doing this. That's just my intuition talking to me. Okay, so always listen to that. Now, lesson 23, your external world is just a reflection of your internal world. Okay, so simply put, whatever you see now is just based on the beliefs that you have, or the lessons that you've been telling yourself. I think I mentioned about this in one of my podcasts before, is that there are so many things that we always feel like we are never ever able to change our future, just because um like, it is what it is, right? It is not what it is. Okay, like, your future can be changed, and you start changing it with your actions now, because nothing changes when nothing changes. So whatever that you're saying right now is based on your past belief and your past actions. So just know that there is this difference. Just think of it as a time difference between your current reality and your future. So whatever actions that you're doing now, it's gonna affect your future. Okay, so things just kind of manifest it takes time to manifest, and it takes time to come into fruition. That's just kind of how life works, right? So know that your future is not fixed. Whatever that you're seeing now doesn't mean that it's gonna be your life in the future. It doesn't matter what circumstances you're born into, or what circumstances you're in right now, as long as you take the opportunity, or rather you tell yourself that you can actually switch your mindset and you switch it like that, know that things can change really quickly, really rapidly, and you'll just be so surprised. Because when I realized and when I learned this lesson, my whole life changed, and I start to manifest a lot of things that I thought I would never be able to manifest. And it's just insane. It's really just insane how much, when you trust your ability and when you trust that you can change your life, that you can change your life just by little things every single day, by setting maybe routines, or just by telling yourself affirmations every single morning, even though it may not seem like anything right now, but just know that in the long term you're gonna see results so much faster. There will come a point in time where you look at yourself and you're like, oh my god, like who are you? Like you're someone that is so strong right now. At least for me, I'm someone that is so strong right now that I know how to maneuver like life. I know how to kind of manifest certain things, and I know that emotion wise I need for it to align to my goals before my reality actually shows me what I want to what I was desiring. Okay, so it's like you need to put in a work first before expecting results. Okay, this is just life. All right, so lesson 24 is to learn to slow down and enjoy life, every bit of it. So when you start to slow down and enjoy life, I think this is the theme. I put this as lesson 24 because this is the theme of the whole entire time of me turning 24, is that I start to learn to enjoy life and enjoy the slow pace of life, enjoy the process of life. Because when I enjoy life, you would realize that actually time starts to slow down a little bit more. I savor moments so much more that I can actually look back at, that moment and be so happy. An example is me being in San Francisco. Right now I'm back in Singapore, and it's been, I would say, 2 weeks of me coming back to Singapore. And even up to today, I still look at my camera roll and I still, look at those memories and relive those memories, and I feel so much more satisfied. I no longer come back and feel like, oh my god, like I'm back, I dread coming back, blah blah blah, I don't want to be here. What I do is I tend to appreciate that part of life more, and I know that it's not the end. I'm definitely going to be reliving this life, and this is just the beginning. So this is me learning to slow down in life and to know that your destinations, you will reach your life destinations when it's time. Okay, you don't have to put a timeline to anything. Slow down, take a breather. Let's take a breather now. Okay, slow down. Don't have to rush to anywhere. Just know that time will tell, and things will happen to you for a reason. And things will happen for you for a reason, and the universe will always be by your side, helping you if you let it to. Okay, surrender. Back to surrendering. So that's all 24 lessons of our life, of my life lessons that I've learned. So I hope that you enjoy these 24 lessons, and let me know which one is your favorite, by leaving down below in the comments, whatever. Drop me a DM, or whatever that's comfortable, that you're comfortable with. Okay, so I truly enjoy recording episodes like that, and I would say that turning 24 is huge. There are a lot of like milestones that I've accomplished while turning 24, and I feel like, I don't know why, but I just feel like being 24 is, I don't know, I feel like everyone at the age of 24, they have major life changing like lessons. I don't know. Let me know if, at the age of 24, what do you feel? Like, do you feel like you've actually accomplished a lot more? Because for me, I feel like I have. And 24 has been an amazing age for me. Stepping into 24, 23, turning 24, this phase has been such an important part in my life, and I will always look back at this and be like, oh my god, I've actually grown so much. And every single day I shock myself with how much I'm growing, and I'm still growing, how much I'm accomplishing, and how much more I want to accomplish. So this is just the beginning, and entering 24, I'm super 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 happy. And I just hope that you guys actually do enjoy this podcast, or podcast episodes like this. So yeah, that's all I have for today, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye.